What's up, guys? It's Mr. Fit to Flourish, and this is our week in review for stocks in the stock market this week. It's going to be a crazy week. Hocus pocus. Let's get in focus because it's Halloween week and it's going to be a crazy earnings week and a lot, and I mean a lot of economic data. Okay, so let's get started. So, Stocks and Coffee with K5 and Fit to Flourish, First Team Investing. If you want to join the Discord, feel free to check the link in the bio. We trade live every day. We're live every single night, and we literally just keep eating, keep eating. We trade options, okay? We trade options on stocks. We also talk stock investing and stocks to trade as well. But welcome. Every day we have a quote, or every Sunday we have a quote in our Stocks and Coffee, and the quote is, "Champions do daily what everyone does occasionally. Amateurs practice until they get it right. Professionals practice until they cannot get it wrong." So the idea here is, if you want to be great at something, a lot of people are like, oh, I want to trade. No, you don't. You just want the money. But at the end of the day, if you want to become great at something, you need to be practicing. You need to be in there, in the arena, day in, day out, honing your craft, like LeBron James, like Kobe was at practice 2 hours before practice started. Okay, so you need to be at that level. You can't just do something and then you get it right. You're like, oh, okay, I'm happy. No, you got to continue to do it until you get it right 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, and then all of a sudden you can't get it wrong. Anyways, this week is Halloween. It's going to be a fun market week. Huge earnings this week. Like I said, First Team Investing, best Discord in the world. We have YouTube educational tutorials. We look at charts every night. We trade live every morning, live every single night, reviewing the charts. So great stuff. We have a ton of classes as well. But our weekend review, so we had great play calls as usual. QQQ, day traded calls and puts. Qs were a little moody this week, so a little tricky. Apple puts, we had SPY puts, Tesla calls, AMD puts, SQQQ, TSM shorts, coin call. Man, we went crazy. We went crazy as usual. But yeah, there's a lot of volatility as election is coming up, and there's a lot of opportunity with earnings. We had our options intro masterclass a couple times already, and then we had our trading masterclass. This was the 4th iteration, so we've had this class 4 times, and every time people come out learning, we have new people joining the Discord all the time. So I'd like to repeat this class. We like to repeat that class to get everyone up to date on how to really dive into the stock market and options. Okay, so we have more classes coming. So we had our class last week. We have complex option strategies coming pretty soon. Now, in terms of earnings this week, so Boeing beat on revenue but had a slight miss on EPS. They're exploring the sale of their space business. The stock was pretty much unchanged, but Boeing's largest union rejected a new labor deal Wednesday, extending a 6-week strike. So they're on strike, and that's plunged the jet maker into increasing financial peril. So they're pretty much losing money as these guys are on strike. So that needs to get solved pretty quick because Boeing's had a ton of problems that has already dropped its stock price. But after earnings, it's already so low in terms of the stock price that it really can't go any lower here. But it may if we don't solve this issue. ENPH, so ENPH had worse than expected earnings. So this is Enphase Energy. So they had worse than expected earnings report and missed EPS and revenue. So U.S. revenue was up approximately 43%, which is good, quarter over quarter, due to higher shipments to distributors. Meanwhile, revenues in Europe fell approximately 15% quarter over quarter. No bueno, no bueno. So the stock tanked 14%. T-Mobile, see this week, a lot of earnings. T-Mobile had growth outpacing AT&T and Verizon combined. That's insane. And they beat on EPS and revenue. Stock was up. Verizon had a revenue miss, and they reported slowing growth and declining cash flow. Okay, slowing growth and declining cash flow. So Tesla actually had a pretty big move. So a 21.34% beat on EPS and a $286 million miss on revenue. Why is it up? Why is it up? So it gapped up 15% and closed the week up 26%. So what's going on? I think, Papa Elon is speaking sweet nothings in investors' ears again. So, he's a great pump and dump master, in my opinion. He's a great leader, very smart, very innovative. But he is able to move markets. He knows what to say. So, in essence, Elon Musk said that Tesla will produce millions of robots and self-driving cars in the future that will propel the company's market cap to stratospheric levels. The revenue from the car business has plateaued, and operating margins, while up in the third quarter, are down from a few years earlier. But Elon urged investors to think of Tesla again as an artificial intelligence and robotics company, rather than a typical car maker. So they're switching their image here. And has said its efforts in these areas could eventually boost the electric car maker's market cap to 30 trillion. Bold claims, big bold claims, but investors like it. Stock is up 26%. Insane. Okay, we took advantage of those calls. Friday 0 DTE went absolutely crazy, redonkulous. All right, economic data. In terms of economic data this week, we had initial jobless claims come in lower than expected for the second time in a row. Continuing claims are a tad bit higher. So continuing a tad higher, a very good initial jobless claims. So we're expecting a 25-point rate cut expected, a 90% chance at the next meeting, at the next FOMC meeting. Okay. The market took this very well on Thursday again, along with Tesla earnings to save the Mag 7. Consumer sentiment, housing sales, etc., all came in as expected. U.S. retail sales last week for September showed that sales were strong, and it showed a strong consumer spending supported by bank earnings that we've had the past 2 weeks. In terms of related news and buzz, so the S&P 500 broke the 6-week bull streak, ending down 1%. So this is our first red week in 6 weeks. That's pretty insane. We are at all-time highs currently. So, and we've had this ridiculous run up. So just a slight pullback here as we prepare to take in earnings, elections, and the Fed rate decision. Okay, so chips and dip. So chips dipped on Wednesday, 10/23, in anticipation of Tesla earnings that afternoon. Also, because Apple was selling off, and we'll talk about that in a second. So no chips, just a McDip for McDonald's. So McDonald's Quarter Pounder was linked to an E. coli outbreak and caused McDonald's to remove the Quarter Pounder from the menu in certain states. Okay, so it should recover. McDonald's should recover and is recovering. So McDonald's identified the cause, and they had a game plan. They came out and said, "Oh, okay, we know what's going on. This is our game plan to take action." Okay, so that's kind of quelling the fears of investors. And a lot of people were kind of trying to relate this to the 2015 Chipotle incident, but this is very different. And the reason is, in 2015, Chipotle didn't know what the heck was going on. They didn't know what was causing the E. coli, and they didn't say anything to investors. So people were like, "Yo, what the heck? Like, help us out here." So that's not good. And then also, not only did they have an E. coli outbreak, but right after that, they had a norovirus cases right after. So it was pretty much a double whammy, and they never identified the cause and didn't communicate a solution. So that's the main difference here. All right. And then again, like we said, Apple. So Apple iPhone 16 orders were cut by around 10 million units for the fourth quarter for 2024. There's no evidence yet that the Apple Intelligence coming out, AI, could boost iPhone shipments in the near term. And it was lower sales were confirmed during earnings reports from Verizon and AT&T. So this caused a insane dump on Wednesday. I remember we were trading. Apple was holding strong. All of a sudden, I see a red bar fall off the screen, and I'm like, wait a minute. Is my computer messing up? No, I scroll up, and there's just this huge 5-minute red bar that just fell off the screen. It was ridiculous, and then everything started dumping immediately after. All right, so ARM and Qualcomm, so they got beef. ARM is canceling a license that allowed Qualcomm to use ARM intellectual property to design chips. And this beef has been ongoing with litigation and patents and all this stuff going on for a while. ARM is backed by NVIDIA, so just look out for these two stocks. And Qualcomm has been quite beat up for a little bit. It looked like it was about to tank even more, so just kind of look out for these stocks here. Bitcoin, so BTC, Bitcoin is range bound after the double bottom breakout that we talked about a couple weeks ago. And now it's creating a double top at the hard resistance at 69,000. Okay, and also Satoshi era whale started selling $82 million worth of Bitcoin that he's had since 2009, and that happened 10/25/2024. So Bitcoin was breaking back to the upside, but again, it's facing resistance at 69K. Okay, so if we lose that 65,000 level, we'll move back down to 63,000. All right, and that's also the golden pocket from the move up back to the move down. Now, in terms of Google, Google had or currently has a massive inverse head and shoulders and is going to be reporting earnings this week. It's at the 165 level. If it breaks that neckline, holy moly, it's got a big move coming up to 172, and this could happen this week. All right, in terms of the New York Stock Exchange hours, this might be changing. So I don't think anybody's talking about this, but the changes, which are subject to regulatory approval, would extend the hours from 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as opposed to the 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. that we currently have. So from that 8.5 hours to now, not 8.5 hours, less than that. But anyways, it's going to change from 9:30 to 4, all the way to 1:30 to 11:30. So it's going to be a 22-hour day, 5 days a week. This would be kind of similar to like Forex and some of those other markets that trade pretty much almost 24 hours. So the New York Stock Exchange initiative to extend U.S. equity trading underscores the strength of our U.S. capital markets and growing demand for our listed securities around the world. So as the steward of the U.S. capital markets, the New York Stock Exchange is pleased to lead the way in enabling exchange-based trading for our U.S.-listed companies and funds to investors in time zones across the globe. Okay, so this would be a huge change. It can affect the market in a couple ways. I know some people are like, oh no, but some people are like, yay, now I can trade in the evening. We're definitely going to have different time periods now where there's going to be surges in trading. So that's something that we'd have to pay attention to. Where is the volume and where is big money deciding to trade? Like, when are they deciding to trade? Or are they going to do something random every single day for the first couple months? Or is it going to be pretty consistent at different time zones? So we currently know that the 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. time period is considered a market-wide reversal time. And we also know that from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is considered power hour. Okay, so when stocks typically push up. So now, none of that may hold true. It may still hold true, or we may get completely different times that we have to adjust to in order to capture the bigger moves on stocks. Okay, but it will allow a lot more people worldwide and just a lot more people in general to trade. So people who were previously at work, now coming home from work, they want to trade, they can put out in trades. People in different time zones where they're sleeping, now they can not worry about having to wake up early or wake up late to trade. So a lot of different things. And then it also just caused volume to be less, as like there's so much time that there might be small volume throughout the day. You never know. We never know. We'll have to adjust to it when it comes up, if it comes up. And it's earnings season again. So look into earnings this week. So Tuesday we have SoFi, PayPal, McDonald's pre-market, and then we have Google, AMD, and Chipotle after hours. Wednesday we have Humana, Lilly pre-market, and then we have Robinhood, Coin, Microsoft, and Meta, and Starbucks after hours. Thursday we have Uber pre-market, and then we have Apple, Amazon, and Intel after hours. So ton of mega cap and big cap, large cap stocks reporting, and stocks that can pretty much move, and stocks that are at critical levels. So big stocks to look out for. And then in terms of economic data, on Tuesday we have job openings at 10 a.m. Wednesday we have ADP employment and GDP 8:30 a.m. And these are Eastern Standard Time, by the way, EST. And then we have initial jobless claims and PCE. Again, that's going to be 8:30 a.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. And then Friday we have unemployment rate, ISM, and auto sales. Okay. So the watch list for this week. Usually I have like just a couple stocks, but man, just watch the entire Mag 7. Everything's going to be moving. And then, of course, SPY and the Qs. SPY is at all-time highs. Q's is pretty close, less than just about 1%. Yeah, less than 1%. Well, now over 1% away. And then also to look out for is there's going to be a lot of volatility in the markets for the next 4 to 6 weeks, as we have November 5th, the elections. We have November 7th, we have the Fed rate decision. And then even after that, we'll have like sell-offs and run-ups, as NVIDIA earnings is going to be on November 20th, which pretty much every stock is paying attention to. So NVIDIA is literally putting the stock market on its back. It's putting the team on its back. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this Stocks and Coffee with First Team Investing. It's your boy, Mr. Fit to Flourish. And let's have a great week of trading. I'm out. Good morning, welcome to the Fit to Flourish podcast. Let's talk wellness, finance, and growth.